the class. Okay. Now what is our next step? Next step is, I already told you, we have to fetch the data from database and we have to display it to the, or we have to display it in the ASP.NET by using tabular form. First we will try to get the data. This time we are not going to use ADO.NET. We are going to use entity framework. So first we will try to understand how to create entities by using entity framework. So it is simple. Right click on the application, click on add, click on new item. Once you click on add new item, you can able to see different types of options in the left hand side menu. Here select data, select data option. Okay, once you select data option, you can able to see different types of options over here. Now I recommend you to select ADO.NET entity data model. Select ADO.NET entity data model. Okay, you can give any name to the model. Okay, now I will give the name as, maybe normally this model name will be same as your database name most of the cases. Okay, so my database name is DB596061. Some name I have given for my database. Okay, you have to give relevant name when you are making the project. So my database name is DB596061. I will give usually same name, DB59, sorry, DB59 61. So that is my model name. Okay, by default you will see the model name as model 1. You just change it to relevant name. Even if you don't change also, nothing will happen. Okay, click on add, click on add. So once you click on add, you will see different options over here. Okay, so you observe EF designer from database, empty EF designer, empty code. Okay, make sure to disable your audio. Okay, make sure to disable your audio. See, you have different options over here when you select ADO.NET entity model. So if you want, I can just cancel it and I can go back. Right click on the application, click on add, click on new item, select data and select ADO.NET entity data model. So give your model name same as your database name. So in my case, I have used the database name as DB596061. Okay, click on add. Now you can see different options here. Remember, when you are dealing with entity framework, so primarily you have two options to deal with entity framework. Okay, primarily two options are there when you are dealing with entity framework. First option is entity framework. We have two ways to create entities, or two ways to use entity framework. First way is using database first approach, and second way is by using code first approach. I will explain when to use this database first approach and I will explain how to use the code first approach. Now by looking at this names itself, I think you can able to use your common sense and you can able to easily understand which one I should currently use. Now tell me which approach I need to use currently. Do I need to use database first approach or code first approach? So which one is already ready in my case?
First approach.
Which first?
Database.
Database first. Okay. Why database first approach? Because already database is already ready in my case. Okay. So what I need to use is I need to use database first approach. When the database is already ready, okay, you use database first approach. When you are starting your application, even database is not ready, that point of time it is recommended to go for code first approach. Okay, so I believe you understood the point. Now you may get one doubt. The doubt is, okay. So we have learned ADO.NET, whether that your ADO.NET will be useful or not. You studied ADO.NET, maybe you would have spent somewhere around 4 days for that. Even you have done one project on that. Okay. Now what happened to my ADO.NET skill? Will it be useful or not? So you are saying ADO.NET will be eliminated. Then what is the point in learning ADO.NET? Correct? You should ask me this, that question, correct? Yes, sir. Fatima, ask me the question. Okay. Right, Srikanth, at least you ask. If you don't ask me, I will not answer the question.
What is the use of ADO.NET, sir?
Very good. Okay. So remember, ADO.NET is actually not eliminated. Remember. Okay. So entity framework is used for small and mid-tier applications. When the application is having too much of complexity, lot of tables, lot of screens. If you are dealing with a very big project, I can say it is not project, it is product. Big product is developed by the companies. They will never go for entity framework. They will use ADO.NET. It means that whatever the coding you have learned, it is not useless. It is 100% useful. Okay. So either you can choose ADO.NET or entity framework for making your application. If your application is small or mid-tier application, obviously entity framework will be uh, preferred because the development will become faster. Otherwise, if your application is too big, okay, so obviously ADO.NET is best because ADO.NET performance wise, ADO.NET is best compared to entity framework. Okay, and hence you don't think that ADO.NET is useless, still it is useful. Okay, now whatever. So when you are using entity framework, okay, so when you are dealing with yeah, someone is, I think, asking question, I guess. Okay, yeah, not asking question. So when you are dealing with entity framework, so you need to decide whether to use the database first approach or to use code first approach. So I already told you, when the database is not ready, you go for code first. Okay. So when you create entities, automatically it will create the required database tables. Okay. Or when the database is already ready, so based on the database tables, it will create entities. Okay. So since in my case database is already ready, so I will go with that first approach, database first approach. Most of the cases when you are implementing applications, most of the people will be using this database first approach. Okay. So mostly, very rarely companies will be going for code first approach. You forget about it. Okay. Now, what is this database first approach? In database first approach, if create entities using tables, using database tables. Using database tables, entities will be automatically created. Okay. So what is this code first approach? In code first approach, tell me what will happen. Database tables will be created based on entities. It is reverse actually. Okay, based on entities. Now let me go ahead with database first approach. Okay. So how to implement it? Implementation is simple. Select entity framework designer from database. You know why I am choosing this option, correct? Because I have already database ready. Now I need to create the entities. That is by this approach. In case if I want to create the database from the code, I have to select this option. You forget about the other approaches. Okay, even model first approach is there, that you forget. So let me choose this. Let me go for EF designer from database. Select next. Now you have to create new connection here. Click on new connection. You give your server name. Sorry. Server name is this one. Desktop QAVV TVQ in my case. I give the server name and then I select database name here. In this SQL server, there can be n number of databases. Okay, I have to choose which database. Now I should choose this database name DB596061 test connection. Before doing anything, test connection. It is saying connection succeeded. In case if your database is using SQL Server authentication, make sure to change the SQL Server authentication. Give username and password. Otherwise, Windows authentication, test connection done. Then click on OK. What next? So once you click on OK, so something connection string is getting created. See, remember the format of connection string in entity framework is bit different. Even entity framework should know to which database it has to be connected. That is the reason why connection string will be automatically created. Okay, and then SQL connection settings will be stored under this name. If you want to give some other name for your connection string, you can give, not an issue. Okay, so I don't want to change this. Let me go for next. Okay, now it is asking me whether to choose entity framework latest version or old version. Okay, so why old? Always new will be better. So obviously select 6. Next. Okay, now it is saying
Charging का stop करेगा.
okay, right. Make sure to mute your make sure to mute your audio. Make sure to mute your audio. Yeah, right.
Right.
Please
चलो
make
जल्दी मान दो चलो. तेरी पद्दी नहीं हुई क्या?
yeah, I don't know who is doing.
Rohina.
I don't know who is talking. Yeah, make sure. Please make sure to mute your audio.
मान दो चलो प्रश्न करो.
Madam, please. Yeah, I don't know who is that.
It's Rohina.
Hello.
No. Please mute your audio. Right. Very good. Very good. Okay. You know why I lost my hair, right? So it is because of this. That's all simple. No other reason. Okay. So yeah. When I started teaching, I lost almost my hair. Okay. Right here. Okay. Good. Okay, so now it is showing different options here. Okay, so tables. Okay, so there are a lot of tables over here. So in this database for which you have connected, so select the tables. So you will get, all these tables will be actually converted into entities. Okay, and in case if your database is having any stored procedures, if you want to deal with stored procedures, you make sure to select stored procedures also. Select stored procedures as well as functions. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. So stored procedures and functions. So yeah. So all stored procedures, whatever. Yeah. In my current database, maybe when I am teaching to some students, so I would have created this stored procedures. Get all patients, get all patient details, get patient details, insert patient something. So even the stored procedures will be coming into my entity framework. So my tables will come and my stored procedures also will come into my entity framework. Now let me, you see here, there is an option called as pluralize or singularize generated object names. Okay, this we will see later. Okay, now let me click on finish. So once I click on finish, automatically the tables will be created. Okay. And remember one important point when you are creating tables. Okay, so make sure to have primary key for each and every table. If you are not having primary key, there is a high possibility of getting problems. Okay, make sure that every table will be having primary key. Right, I don't know in my current database whether every table is having primary key or not. Okay, let me complete this activity. Yeah, still it is creating, just give me 1 minute. In case if it is giving any kind of error, so that is fine. Maybe some tables will not be having primary keys. That is why it may be giving error. Yeah, I think in my case there will be no error. So only patient table is added into my database. What does that mean? It means that other tables are not having primary keys. So that is the reason why other tables are not added as entities. Okay. So now only one table is added, that is patient table. So you can see that patient table here. Okay. So you can see all the created tables in EDMX diagram. Okay, entity data model diagram. This is called as entity model data diagram. So here you can able to see the properties. Here there is a property called as navigation property. In case if your patient table is having any foreign key constraint, here that foreign key column will be listed under the navigation properties. Anyhow, in this current case, it is not there, so you don't need to worry. Now, let us examine what is being created. So in the application, see, you observe EDMX file is created here. Under this EDMX file, lot of files got created. Okay, so if you go to this file called as db596061 context.tt, and under that there is a CS file. So you double click over here, you can able to see some class which is automatically generated. Okay, so what is this class? See, there is a namespace called as entity framework samples for db67 68 something is created, and there is a class created with the name db596061 entities, which is inheriting from db context class. Okay, so this class is very much important for doing all your database operations. So this db context class is having internally all methods for performing insert operation, update operation, delete operation, fetch operation, everything is listed over here. Okay, now let us observe this class. This db596061 entities class is having a constructor. So this is basically constructor, nothing else. And here inside this class, you can able to see a method with the name get all patients, get all patient details. Okay, and there is a method with the name get all patient, and there is a method with the name insert patient. Okay, have you observed these names anywhere in your database? You only tell me. Have you observed these names anywhere in your database? What are those methods actually? Those are the methods which are same as our stored procedures. Ah, right. So Gahan is answering. Okay, Ravi Kumar, yes, many are answering. Whatever the stored procedures present in our database, in fact, those stored procedures are converted into methods. Remember, in entity framework, all database tables are converted into properties, and all stored procedures are converted into methods. Same thing you can able to observe here. Okay, see, get all patient details is basically a stored procedure in the database. Get all patients is also stored procedure. Insert PAT is also stored procedure. So that is the reason why these three methods are created. And you observe here patients. What is this patients over here? Tell me. Patients. You can able to see patients now. What is this patients?
Table name, sir.
It is table. Okay, it is not exactly table name. It is the property linked to your patient's table. Okay, so you observe the patient's property. So this patient's property return type is DB set of patients. Okay, when I say DB set of patient, it is basically list. It is kind of list option. Okay, you know what is list in .NET, correct? What is list? List is a generic collection. Okay, using which you can able to store multiple values. Maybe if you create list of string, you can create list of strings. If you create list of patients, you can able to store list of patient objects. Okay, so on so forth. Right, very good. Now, so instead of a list, it is internally using db set. So db set is almost equivalent to a list generic collection object. Okay, let us not change that. Now, remember, in entity framework, if I want to deal with my database table, which table? Patient table. If I want to do any operation on my patient table data, you don't need to touch the actual patient table. What you need to do is, you have to do your operations on this patient's table. Sorry, patient's property. Right? Now, let us say I wanted to add a new patient into my database table. I wanted to add a new patient into my database table. Earlier in ADO.NET, what you were doing? First you use to create SQL connection, and then you use to create SQL command. Then you will be generating insert statement, insert into patient values something. Okay, that maybe you will be writing in a stored procedure or doing something, and after that you will be calling that query. You will be executing that query. Okay, by using execute non-query or whatever it is. Then data will be inserted. Then you close the connection. These are the operations. But now with entity framework, if you want to insert any data into your patient table, you have to operate on this patient's property. I will explain how to operate on this patient's property. But remember, this patients is a property present in this class. If you want to use this property, you need to create the object for this class. Now, let me go back. Let me go back to my patient list.aspx.cs. I will create the object for the class db596060 entities. Select this, go there, create the object, then entity context. I'll give the name as entity context is equals to new db entity context. It is basically a class, nothing else. Okay, so this class is automatically created by the entity framework. So that class you can see here. So you create object for this class and then access this property. So this property is static property or instance property? It is instance property. So you need to call that property by using entity context dot. Okay, entity context dot. Now you can able to see all properties and methods here. So you can see a property with the name patients. See, this is the property we were talking about. So patients. Okay. Now, if you want to do any operations on this property, so you have to just call methods. If you want to add new patient, you call this add. Okay. If you want to delete anything, I think there will be delete method. Okay, remove method. Okay. So something like this, there are many things. Okay. Okay. Now, when you call this property, it will give you DB set of patients. Create the set of patient. Okay, you call it as maybe DB set. Okay, why it is giving error? Because namespace may be missing. You just add the namespace. Click on bulb. So it is showing namespace name. System.data.entity is having DB set. So just add it. Okay. So now your DB set is almost similar to the list generic collection. Now I got the data here. Okay. So if you want to verify whether the data is coming into this DB set or not, you can just do the debugging. Now once the data comes into this DB set, I have to insert that data into my database table. As simple as that. Okay. Sorry, into my user interface. I have to create a table. Okay. How can I create table? I can able to use maybe the grid view control, whatever is there in the .NET, or otherwise I can able to create my own table. So I recommend you to, instead of creating table, okay, I will go with the grid view control only. Okay, I'll just remove all these things. Grid view is a special control available in grid view is a special control. I can create ASP grid view control. Grid view will give you table. Okay, even if you are not aware of grid view, you don't need to worry. Okay, just write ASP grid view ID is equals to maybe my patients, then run at equal to server, then apply the CSS class. CSS class property is there. You can apply table class. Now bind the data to your grid view control. So what is my grid view control name? I'll just make it as GV patients. GV refers to grid view patients. Then I'll say GV patients. Why it is not coming?
It's GC, sir. I have given GC.
GC. Very good. Thank you. GV patients dot data source. Okay, so binding is almost similar to binding data to the drop down list. How will you bind the data to drop down list? You use data source property and data bind property, same thing. Data source, then DB set, that is the name of your collection. Okay, then bind it, GV patients dot data bind. As simple as this. That's all. Now, if you observe the code, nowhere I have written SQL connection, nowhere I have written, SQL command. It should work. Okay, so it should give you the data because patient's property will get the data from my database table. How it will internally do it, that really doesn't matter for you and for me. It is none of our business. Okay. Let me execute the code. If everything goes fine, now you must be able to see the data coming from your database. I think I placed a debug pointer there. I have to place. I'm getting error. It is saying I cannot be able to directly bind it to the DB set. Data binding directly to a store query is not possible. So what I'll do, I'll just convert this into list. There are ways to convert it into list. I just use to list. To list is a predefined function available. So I'll use to list. Okay. So I'll just specify the source type, that is patient class type, and then this is a function. Okay. Now this will be converting your data into to list, will be converting your data into list general. So you use to list, it will be automatically converted into list. Then I think you can able to bind the data. Let us check. In case if I get any kind of error, usually I will not worry. Why I will not worry? Because whenever I get any kind of error, so obviously I can able to search in the internet. Correct? I can take that error and I can directly post that error message in the internet. Google is there for us. So why to worry? Correct? So that is how I feel. See, many people, when you are implementing real applications, you will get panicked. Okay, so I am getting error. Oh, someone will come and kill me. No, nothing will happen. Okay, so nothing will happen. So obviously, whenever you are getting any kind of error, it is good only. It is actually learning point. See, when you get some problem, so your mind will focus on that, and you will take that error. So you will copy paste that error message in the Google. Okay, so identify what is the problem and identify what is the solution for that problem. As simple as that. Okay, you take any kind of technology implementation, it goes in the same way. So do you think that you will be the first person in the world who will be getting this error for the first time? No, right? So there will be a lot of hundreds of people, thousands of people who got already this problem. Okay, they would have written that question in the Google somewhere, right? So someone would have already answered that question, correct? So obviously your task is you need to find where is that answer and then implement it. Read that answer properly, implement it. Right? Some people will not be having patience to read that answer. Simply they will copy paste it and they will say it is again not working. So problem is there. Okay, so I'm trying to resolve that problem. It is not working. They will not read what they are doing. Simply someone will say you copy paste this code. Even they will not understand where to copy paste. Right? So that you should have patience to read it. So read it and implement the solution properly. You will get it. Okay. So programming is easiest thing in the world, that you will be knowing, and even I also know. Correct? It is easiest thing, right? Yeah. Right, so let me come. Yeah, so why it is still taking time? Because it is there in the debug mode. Yes, let us see. Now let us see if any problem is there. Will give you data. No, there is no problem. It is saying clearly count is 6. Now data will come. I think right. So now I am getting the good looking user interface. So list of patients and then table is ready. In case if you don't want to create table like this, if you want more beautiful table or good looking table, you can apply even one more class. So, table. Okay, I'll apply table borderless. I'll see how my user interface will be coming. It is coming like this. So you can apply different bootstrap styles to see the data in different formats. Okay, so we are getting the data. Okay, this is fine. Now what next? My next step is, okay, I am able to see the data here, but I want to do the insert operation. I want to allow my user to insert new patient. What should I do? I need one more page again. I need one more page for allowing the user to insert the data. So let me create the user interface. For that, let me go here, Solution Explorer, add a new page. Click on add new item. Go to web, select web form. Let's say create patient. Click on add. Now user interface is added. Sorry, page is created. Now again I will take this one, container. I'll take this because I'll get good looking UI. So I'll just copy paste here. Okay. Now here instead of my grid view, I'll just create a form. Okay, form is there already. So now I need to create a user interface, proper user interface. So I think I can able to do it by using view class form group is a class available in Bootstrap. So I can create a label. Okay, I think this label will not be okay, will be good. So label PID. Then I will create a text box. ASP text box ID is equals to TBPID run not equal to server. Okay. Then one more user interface, sorry, one more control, one more control, one more control, one more control. Total how many controls are required for us? I think 5 controls. TB, FNAME, then very good. TBL name, TBL name, then TB age. What next? Then
Background.
BG. So here you change it. Name, name, age, then so almost done. Now I need a button control for performing the insert operation. Correct? I'll create one more button. Okay. So ASP button. What next? ID equal to BTN. Not equal to server. Text equal to or add patient. Your wish. I have to apply CSS class also because it looks good. BTN info. Okay, these are bootstrap classes that I don't want to explain. Okay, so there are different bootstrap classes available. So if you want to search which bootstrap class will be good for button, you search in the net, you will get it. Okay, so I am not going to talk about BTN info. Okay, so done. Now what is the next step? So when I double click on this button control, it will generate a function, so that you know. Now I need to take the data from controls, and then I need to insert it into the table. How can I read the data? Int patient ID, int patient ID, convert dot, please tell me, 2 int 32, then tb pid dot text. So you know why I am converting it into integer, correct? So now string fname, string fname, then convert dot post. Okay, you are correct. Yeah. So, yes. So you have to read the data from controls. That, yeah, definitely everyone will be knowing. So PV name. So same way I'll take LName, age, then region. So this is my LName. This is my age. PV LName. Then PV age. 2 and 32. Then TVBG. Okay, so controls data is coming into these variables. Now what is the next step? Once the data comes into the variable, okay, you are reading it from the controls. Okay, you stored it in variables. What is next? Very simple. Since we are dealing with entities, you have to insert your data, controls data into entities. Okay, so simple thing is insert into not database. Okay, insert the data into entity. That entity will get inserted into database. Okay, how can I do? Again, see, 1 minute more is there, so I think I'll stop. Again, I'll share the link with you.